Aloha Ohana! I hope you're all having a great week. For those of you visiting for the first time, aloha, my name is Kai, and here on this channel we talk about all true crime cases that happen in the 808 state. So if you're interested in true crime and Hawaii, I highly suggest you subscribe and turn on all your bells so you're notified as soon as I upload. Before we jump into today's case, guys, please remember that this video is intended to raise awareness. It's never my intent to spread false information, and I try my very best in researching all the facts surrounding a case. Also, please remember that the content on this channel is graphic, language is disturbing, and just use discretion. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This is definitely not a PG or G channel. With that said, let's get into today's case. So on April 7, 2010, 24-year-old Jamil Khan jumps in his car and drives away from his family's Mililani home. He was on his way to Makakilo, where actually he and two other business partners, Joshua Williams and Michael Connolly, were operating a huge indoor marijuana farm. So Jamil, he's driving over there. He gets to the house in Makakilo, parks his car, turns off his car, opens his driver door, gets out, closes the door, and he's walking to the house like no big thing, like he was gonna go and check up on his business partners and check up on the business. Now, as soon as Jamil walks into the house, one of the business partners, Joshua, closes the door behind Jamil. As Jamil enters, he closes the door, he grabs Jamil, okay, and of course this catches Jamil off guard, grabs Jamil, while the other business partner, Michael, he has a hammer in his hand and he starts to violently and viciously beat Jamil. He starts beating Jamil in the chest and his head. He's using this hammer, he's going off, he's like going to town. And of course Jamil is caught off guard, right? This is not what he expected. And so Jamil's crying, he's begging, he's in pain, he's begging these two men, the men that he trusted, these were his friends and his business partner. And actually Joshua and Jamil went to Mililani High School together. They were classmates. So, he's wondering, why are they doing this to me? I thought we were brothers. I thought we were family. So he's crying, he's begging for his life. He's asking Joshua and Michael to please stop, please spare his life. Now, Michael beats Jamil so bad that Jamil falls unconscious, okay? And when he falls unconscious, Joshua and Michael drag Jamil all the way to the bathroom and they string him up. Now, I've read that, I don't know what they did. I don't know if they hung him over the bathtub or behind the door. I don't know. But we do know that they strung Jamil up. And Joshua would later tell a witness that at this point, he knew that Jamil was still alive because he could hear Jamil wheezing and gurgling. Now, I don't know if any of you have been beaten to that point, beaten badly, or have witnessed someone being beaten badly. But this is what happens. They're wheezing, they're gurgling, because there's all kinds of internal injuries that are going on at this point. So you would think that Joshua and Michael would stop at this point, right? Just stop and walk away and just let it end here. But they don't. Joshua actually slices Jamil's throat. And of course, Jamil bleeds out and he passes away. After Joshua and Michael really realize that Jamil is gone, the two men grab a handsaw and they start to dismember Jamil's body. They cut off Jamil's arms, his legs, his head, right? And with these body parts, what they're doing is they're putting it in trash bags, okay? They're putting all the body parts in different trash bags, and they end up throwing away these trash bags in the city and county garbage bin, okay? This is the garbage bin that they threw it in. All right. Now, after they're done disposing of Jamil's body, Joshua jumps in Jamil's car and drives his car from Makakilo all the way to Waipahu. And when he gets there, he burns Jamil's car. And I think Joshua was thinking that he was trying to get rid of any evidence, trying to just pretty much erase Jamil. Now, at this point, okay, Jamil's family They're trying to get a hold of him. No one seems to be able to get a hold of him. So Jamil's father, Ty Khan, he makes a missing report of his son. He's realizing, I haven't heard from my son. Nobody can get a hold of him. So he makes a missing report. And he also goes as far as contacts the FBI to ask them in assistance in locating his son's whereabouts. So they make posters, they make flyers, asking the community, asking the public for help. Unfortunately, Jamil was never seen again. It's not long before Joshua and Michael are charged with Jamil's murder because Joshua has a big mouth and can't keep his mouth shut. He actually starts telling people what he and Michael did to Jamil. So it's not long before the two men are charged with Jamil's murder. And between Joshua's statements that were taken when Joshua was taken into custody, between Joshua's statements and the information from the witnesses that Joshua had told what he and Michael did to Jamil, and a police informant, the prosecutors have enough evidence to charge the two men. Would say that the reason why Joshua and Michael did this to Jamil is because they heard that Jamil was in the process of breaking off from their business and starting his own marijuana farm. They also said that Jamil wasn't contributing to the business. They said that Jamil was stealing, from the business, whether that was profits or product. And they also said that they had heard from somewhere else that Jamil was going to attack Joshua and Michael with a gun, a AK-47 to be exact. So Joshua and Michael, they weren't happy with Jamil for whatever their reasons were. And this is why they had attacked Jamil. However, in a twist of events, only Joshua is put on trial for Jamil's murder and Michael Connolly is free to go. So the prosecutor's office, they filed a motion for, I think it's called non prosecution. I don't know, I'm not pronouncing it right, but basically it's a motion that says we're gonna drop all the case against, we're not gonna pursue the case against this certain person. So Michael Connolly is free to go. The motion was granted without prejudice, which means the case can be reopened at any time. Now, I do not know why the prosecutor's office dropped all the charges against Michael. My only guess, which I'm assuming, and don't come for me, is that Michael had cut a deal with the prosecutor's office. And there's always a give and take, right? The prosecutor is not going to just drop all the charges against a person just because they got something out of it. What that is, I do not know. All charges against Michael Connolly in this particular case is dropped on January 9, 2012. Joshua, on the other hand, is found guilty on all 6 counts. Murder in the 2nd degree, commercial promotion of marijuana, arson in the 2nd degree, unauthorized control of propelled vehicle, and promotion of a dangerous drug in the 3rd degree, and last, unlawful use of drug paraphernalia. Joshua was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole plus 30 years. Now, in court, Joshua does speak, and this is what he says, and I quote, "I am so truly deeply sorry for their loss. I never intended for this to happen. I had no ill will toward Jamil. I witnessed this. This wasn't premeditated. If there was anything I could take back, it would be that night. I was truly desperate. I was going to be killed. I did not want to die. I merely defended myself. But even in that, I did not kill their son. It wasn't me." So during Joshua's sentencing in September of 2011, Joshua asked Judge Karen On for leniency. Joshua is basically claiming that it was in self-defense. He wasn't the one that committed the murder. He was merely an accomplice. And Joshua's defense team was trying to argue that after the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers, they're trying to say that Jamil became radicalized and that Jamil wanted to take profits from the business, go to Afghanistan to train and to kill Americans. That was the defense's argument. His family 100% disagree with this characterization of Jamil. Jamil's sister, Tashiana Khan, in court said of her brother, and I quote, "He was kind, caring, compassionate, and so many things that will never be forgotten," end quote. Jamil's dad, Ty Khan, asked the court for justice. You know, he's basically saying that, you know, his son's life was cut short and that he was there in court on behalf of the voice that was silenced.
Man of murder. They also convicted 26-year-old Joshua Williams on 4 other counts, including arson and commercial promotion of marijuana. Williams did confess to killing 25-year-old Jameel Khan, but he said it was in self-defense.
We, the jury in this case, find the defendant guilty as charged.
Joshua Williams dropped his head, hearing his fate. His only gesture as a jury convicted him of murdering 25-year-old Jameel Khan in April of 2010.
While we'll continue to miss Jamil, we know he's not coming back. At least we have some comfort that the system worked.
In the courtroom, Khan's tearful sister and mother and father holding tight. Outside, memories and broken hearts.
Lovable, kind, trusting. Then you know how we miss him. And we miss him much.
Khan and Williams were no strangers. In fact, court documents show they went to school together, then worked together in an indoor marijuana operation out of Williams' house. Police affidavits say things went sour when Khan tried to branch off. Williams told police he and this man, 25-year-old Michael Connolly, beat Khan with a hammer, slit his throat, then stuffed him in a garbage can. Police never found Khan's body, but did find his torched car.
We will be appealing, absolutely, we'll be appealing this matter.
But Williams says it was all in self-defense, that Khan threatened him with a gun. And Williams' attorney says that was just one sign of the dark side of Khan.
There was testimony that he had a homemade bomb, that he had plans to explode that device either at the federal building or in this courthouse, that he had plans to profit from the marijuana operation and go to Afghanistan.
A charge Khan's family refuses to accept.
If you knew Jamil, you know that it was just a total erroneous concoction about.
Judge Karen Ahn described Joshua as a dangerous man. She went on to say, and I quote, "He who can dispose of someone as he has, at the least help to kill, as well as burn the victim's car as part of the cover-up, is capable of committing other violent crimes against society," end quote. She, Judge Karen Ahn, definitely sees Joshua as a threat to the community. Deputy Prosecutor Christine Yu said Williams' sentencing needs to reflect the seriousness of his offenses. She reminded the court at how Joshua confessed that Jamil begged for his life in those final moments, and yet Joshua still proceeded and cut Jamil's throat. Joshua's father, Russell Williams, asked the judge not to, quote, throw the book at his son. Russell Williams was trying to say that his son was just an accomplice, and that being an accomplice versus being the actual murderer are two different things. Ultimately, the Khans are happy with Joshua's verdict, but they're not satisfied that Michael Connolly was free to go. So my question to you guys, first of all, have you heard about this case? Secondly, do you think Michael Connolly should be free to go, or do you think he should be held accountable for Jamil's death? Personally, this is my own personal opinion. I feel Joshua and Michael are both responsible for Jamil's murder because they both worked as a team. It was definitely premeditated. They knew that Jamil was coming over to the house, so they were ready. They were ready for him, right? Because as soon as he walked in the door, they attacked him. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys on this case. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Stay safe. Don't forget to wear your mask. Bye.